Yeah. All right, let's look at my games. So in round one, I played Jonathan Pagan, and that made me think about changing my name to Ben Atheist. But I decided to keep Finegold. So I had the black pieces, and I knew this was my last tournament, so I wanted to play new openings and try things that were interesting. So I decided I would play the dragon if allowed, without doing any prep for it. But, you know, I played the dragon once or twice before in my life, I think. So I had the black pieces. Dragon seems like a good opening to try out. So I know that d5 is the main move, and I figured that would be the move my opponent knew the most. So I played something I didn't think was as common. I took and played bishop e6. This is almost as common, but not as common as d5. He played king b1, and he played f3. So now I didn't know what to do. So the purpose of king b1, which is obvious to even the most dim-witted individual with an advanced degree in hyperbolic topology, is to prevent the move queen a5. After queen a5, white can play knight d5. And then if queen takes queen, it's not check, because the king went to b1. So we can, do the knight takes e7 intermezzo and then recapture the queen. So queen a5 isn't good. So I played queen c7, and then I played rook fc8. Now, in the same variation I showed you, where I play queen a5, and they play knight d5, and I take, and they play knight e7 check, because my rook's not on f8, I can play king f8, attacking their knight, before they take my queen back. So now I can play queen a5. And I knew these ideas existed. Okay, and now I want to sack the exchange, and then take on a2, and so forth. He took on g6, I recaptured, and he played a3. Okay, so it turns out this is all theory, although it's news to me. And the main move in Grandmaster play is rook a to b8, with the idea of playing b5 and b4, etc. That is better than what I did. So I ended up playing a6, controlling the b5 square and preparing b5 and so forth. And now he thought a long time, and he played the engine move, bishop d3. And the engine says white has a big advantage here. I played b5. He played queen g5, obviously, stopping b4, because then my queen would be hanging. And I played rook a b8, so making a6 was a little unnecessary, I guess. Thanks for the sub. I can't pronounce your name, but thanks. Okay, now his play started going downhill. The engine likes the way he's played so far. It doesn't like my move a6. And also, the engine doesn't like the dragon very much. So it says that white's already winning strategically or something. But he played knight e2, which the engine does not like. It wants him to play f4 or move his rook up to get his other rook on the h-file. Knight e2 doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think he wants to play knight f4, attacking my bishop on e6, and then maybe he'll sack on g6. So after thinking a while, I found the only good move, which is queen a4. And I want to play b4, but he would take my queen. And I didn't want to lose my queen. So after queen a4, now I can play b4 and not lose my queen. Also, I prevent the aforementioned knight f4 because his bishop on d4 would be hanging.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you, P. Schneider, for the sub.
Yay.
Go, Ben.
And thanks the name I can't pronounce. Karen will give it a try.
Pirsto Wheelie.
There we go.
Pirsto Wheelu.
Yeah. Is this an OTB game? Yeah, this is round 1 of the World Open. I forgot to do a marker. Probably should have done a marker.
Okay.
Can you exclaim marker game 1 5 minutes ago?
Mm-hmm.
Game 1, like go back 5 minutes or something. I don't know. Already did it 5 minutes ago. Thanks, Tensor Extension.
Oh, well, good. He's on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, look, trying to come in late.
That's what he said. Okay, so now the engine says the position's equal after not liking the move knight e2. Okay, he played e5, which the engine does like. I captured. He captured. Also good. And now I played the exchange sacrifice b4. Always sacrifice the exchange. Because I don't really care about the exchange, but I like getting rid of his bishop, so my bishop is better. As in the game Finegold Botez Sisters, when I had those bishops like that.
Yeah.
Even though it was after this game, I still reference it. Even though it was Botez Sisters, Finegold. Okay, so he played rook h4, pinning my pawn to my queen. So I can't take because he wins my queen. Now I played the best move. Rook b5. Sack exchange here, sack exchange there, give a dog a bone. Now this doesn't really sack the exchange because, as you well know, the c2 pawn is tender. Usually these pieces would be tender. You know why?
No.
Tender is the knight.
Okay.
Okay, but here it's the c2 pawn. If bishop takes b5, I don't take the bishop. I play queen c2 check, winning.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Duocapas. Yeah, I see that.
Exactly.
It's not too hard to see that one.
Okay, so I pinned his bishop and so forth. Okay, he played knight d4. So now he really is attacking my rook. So I sack the exchange, always sack the exchange. Then I played knight d5, unleashing the latent potential of my bishop. Now he blundered. The engine says queen h2 is equal, but he played queen e1. And I couldn't calculate all the way to the end, so the engine doesn't like the move that I made here. It wants me to play knight c3 check, which I looked at, but I couldn't figure it out. And then if he takes, it wants me to play a move I didn't look at, bishop a2 check.
Oh, okay, yeah. I see that.
What am I, a good player? I'm not looking at that. And then if he takes it, which is bad, I take check, plays king b1, because always play king b1, bc3, and that's annoying. The best move is queen takes c3, losing your queen. Anyway, after knight c3 check, the engine says I'm up like 1.8, 2.0. Okay, but I didn't do that. I played bishop d7 because I didn't want him to take my bishop. And the engine says, boo, boo. Now, not only this engine, but the good engine that we have on our laptop, Stockfish 15 or whatever, it says white's close to winning here by playing a move I would never think of. And I still don't understand. Bishop takes g6. And then after I take queen e4, threatening this and this. So he just sacks a piece and he is threatening like a pawn. Like I move my knight anywhere. And the engine says he's killing it here. After knight f6, for example, queen takes g6. I don't see anything for white there, but the engine says it's great for white. So what do I know? So he should have done that, but that's beyond human comprehension. So he played knight e2, which is a mistake. I played bishop takes b2. The engine prefers a5, which I almost played, but it's hard to resist bishop takes b2. Okay, now the following line is forced. He played rook takes b4, which is forced. If he takes my bishop, which he did not do, then I check, and we do the same thing we were just looking at. With the same kind of queen b2 mate. Thanks to Lincoln.
Yay, the Lincoln.
So I win. So he played rook b4, which is forced. Knight b4, queen b4, bishop a3, take, and I'm up a pawn, and I have the two bishops. So I sacrificed the exchange, now I'm up a pawn. So I figured this was probably winning, but even if it wasn't winning, it's better than being down material. So the engine says he should take this, threatening my rook, and then I take this, and so forth. But he played here. And now we were in bad time trouble from all the calculating we had done before. So my play wasn't, super accurate here. Well, it's good enough to win. It's not super accurate. Yeah, here I played bishop c5, which isn't very good. Knight b5 is terrible. Okay, and then we were trying to get out of time trouble here. This was his 39th move. Now in this position, I should play rook b6, but I didn't see it. Good reason. Because his bishop's trapped. And then he has to play knight c7, which is terrible. But I played here, so if he plays knight takes a3, I have bishop d4 check. So he played rook a2. And I give my pawn back. Sort of have to. And I just have a dominating position here. I have two bishops, I have a better pawn structure, I have a better king, I have a better rook. His bishop on a6 is trapped. His pieces are all in the a file. Okay, he played bishop b7. Now there was a blunder later in the game, which I will show you. Check. Oh no, that wasn't this game, this was another game. There's no blunder this game. I was thinking of another game. Right, now I'm threatening bishop takes knight and bishop takes pawn. And also my king's coming in. So he threatened this pawn, never play f6. This pawn's defended. So it's bishop in 2 against bishop in 2, but it's completely winning because his king is over there. If his king was here, then it'd be completely drawing. But yeah, he can't save his pawns. And then here he resigned. And the engine says, I'm plus 20. Hooray, go Ben.
Now, what was his, did he have a title or rating?
No, he's like 2170, something like that. But I played the dragon. Hooray. So that was a good game for me. But
Hey, Sigmo,
engine's not a fan of the variation I chose in the dragon. But I played the dragon to get an interesting game, not because I knew it. Knowing the dragon and playing it's not fair. Yeah. Yeah, rook b6 was better. Well, I wasn't scared. This is my last tournament, so I wanted to have some interesting games, not boring like I usually do. So there was no being scared. I'm not a